Hey everybody, what's up y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Tammy Talks here. So let's go ahead and get into season 14, episode 2 of Married at First Sight. A nice day for a wicked wedding. If you're brand new to my channel, I do dedicated videos for each couple every Wednesday after every episode. So if you enjoy that type of content, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video, and hop into the comment section so we can get into everything we need to get into with this season. I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers, so go ahead, hit that subscribe button, y'all. Help me out. Let's get to 2,000, and I promise you will enjoy your subscription. All right, y'all, so let's get into Michael and Jasmina. All right, so Jasmina's friends come up to the hotel to wake her up, and she is just saying how she's hoping that he is serious about this. You know, to her, marriage is she hopes he's serious about the marriage and ready to make it work. She doesn't want someone that is going to, you know, run at the first sight of trouble or get into some type of argument with her and not be all in, all in, all in. So we then see Michael, and he's getting ready, and his sisters and his brother come to see him before he gets married. And they ask him, you know, how he's feeling because his mom isn't there. And, you know, when you're at your wedding, you know, you want if your parents are in your life, you want your parents to be there. It's an emotional time. It's a transition. You know, you're embarking into a whole new phase of your life, and you want your parents to be there. He says that, you know, he knows that even though she's not with him physically, he can still feel her. You know what I mean? But he does absolutely wish his mother was there. We know that his mother died when he was 20 from breast cancer. So his sisters are there to give him encouragement. And his brother gives him a pink breast cancer ribbon to wear in his lapel. So his mother was like walking with him, and she's going to be at the ceremony. And I thought that was chef kiss from his brother. You can see his sisters are all crying. It's emotional. I feel so bad for them. Always and forever, F cancer, right? So we switch back over to Jasmina. She is fully dressed. You know, she looks gorgeous. Her dress is pretty. Her makeup is pretty. Her hair is done. But she feels sick. Physically sick now. She said there's a knot in her throat. She feels like she's getting ready to vomit. And she's just, you know, going through the typical motions that they all go through with this. She is wondering if, or she's hoping that she's attracted to him. She's hoping that he treats her well. So she's going through all these motions. Meanwhile, the producer was like, Jasmina, let's go. Jasmina, let's go. I wanted to be like, producer lady, wait a second. Hold on. Like, I know we're on a time crunch, but just wait a second. Just wait a second. So her mother comes in to actually check on her, and I like that because I thought it was Jasmina's mother, right, that wasn't exactly super thrilled about the process. But I like that fact that even though her mother isn't all the way in tune with this, she's still being as supportive as she can with it. So we get down to the wedding, and Jasmina is finally ready. And Michael is waiting at the altar, and the producers, like, she's downstairs now, y'all. And the production is still like, let's go. Let's walk in. Let's go. So she finally walks in, and as soon as, before that, this is what I wrote down because I wanted to make sure I said this. Jasmina states she does not play around when it comes to marriage. So she is hoping that she isn't disappointed because he is playing around with marriage. And I mean this in the most respectful way possible. I'm sorry, but you cannot tell me that you do not play around with marriage. You can't tell me that you take marriage super, super serious when you are going on a TV show that has a, 23% success rate to marry a stranger. You absolutely play around with marriage. And I'm not married. My parents have been married for 43 years. They don't play around with marriage. They met after high school. They dated for 2 or 3 years. They got married. They were married for 4 or 5 years. They had my brother. They were married for 2 more years. They had me. I'm sorry, but anybody that decides to go on a TV show to marry somebody at first sight, you don't take marriage as serious as you think, sweetheart. You just don't. Because if you did, you would wait for the right man to come along. You wouldn't go on here to try to force it. But I like you, Jasmina. But I had to say that. I just thought that was very odd of her to say. So, as she's walking down the aisle, Michael has this like, wow. He thinks he's attracted to her. She's beautiful. She's mystified. She took his breath away. So her family says that they were awkward when they were staring at each other. He's staring at her in awe. She clearly does not seem as excited. So she's just like, you come here often? And I'm like, oh, that fell flat. Because I don't think he understood. So like her family laughed to like help her. But I don't think he like got the joke. So her family says that she is a family person. She loves children. And she loves like the Korean band. And he was like, BTS, like finished it for her. So she was like, oh, don't play with me. Because she apparently likes K-pop. His family said that he loves kids. He can't wait to be a father. And while he has not lived with someone for a very long time, so he is messy, which she kind of frowned at, but he is a fast learner. They also make a point to say he means well and will always show up for you. I think that's important because we have heard so many, I don't want to say negative things about him, but not as flattering things about him from his family and friends just throughout this process so far, about how he doesn't compromise, how he retreats into himself, how, like just different things about that would kind of be a bit of a character concern, if you will. But them saying that, he always means well and he always shows up means that give him a chance, give him a moment, and he will circle his way back around to you. So they do their vows, and she promises to make him feel wanted and heard. And she knows that he is human. She knows that she is human, and that they are in this together. She also says that she cannot promise that she won't eat off his plate or take up all the space on the bed. Her vows were cute, straight to the point, witty, love it. So we have Michael, who said that he's always wanted to be married. He is acknowledging that they will have battles that only the two of them can overcome, which is very important too. I feel like far too often people in marriages have these arguments, they have these battles, right? Or just relationships in general. And they go out and they tell anyone that will listen. They tell their friends, they tell their family. And when you do that, when you and your spouse or you and your partner get past that fight, your family still has the animosity towards that person. We saw that last season with Rachel and Jose. You know what I mean? Jose locked her out the house. While Rachel got past it, we saw that her family and friends did not necessarily get past it the same way that she did. So he promises to be vulnerable and allow her to get to know all of him, which I think he's going to try to. We've heard that he's very closed off. He retreats into himself. He can be a little emotional. They also make a point to mention that he is spoiled because of his older sisters. So they get to the reception. Jasmina says she's starting to feel better now. Well, not the reception, after the wedding when they're talking, but she's starting to feel better now. She thinks that before the wedding, she was just all in her head, but like the jitters are gone. So they opened their champagne, and Michael immediately started drinking without toasting. And I'm like, these men just don't have no cool. Why are you taking a sip out of it? Like, anybody knows you open a bottle of wine or champagne, you toast. You cheers. Y'all just got married. Why would you think that you about to just... Whoo, child. So he said that, because they have a very awkward silence, and he says that he was trying to guess her name, and he thought it was Melissa. He says so he would start to call her Mimi in his head. But since her name is Jasmina, he was kind of right. And she was like, no. I mean, she is Miss No Nonsense, right? So they start talking about bedtimes, which a lot of people think is very important because it is. So Jasmina says that she wakes up at 6 o'clock naturally because that's just how her internal alarm clock is. And she goes to sleep like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning because she is watching Korean dramas. And he was like, what do you mean? She was like, you know how we have American dramas? She watches Korean dramas. And she asked him, like, what does he like to watch on TV? He says he does not watch a lot of TV. And I hate people that say this. I hate people that say this. Because the people that say that they don't watch TV, they say it as like a badge of honor. As if the fact that you don't watch TV or the fact that you don't watch reality TV makes you a better person than the people that do watch TV. But he said that he's in bed by 9:30 or 10 every night. She said, I'm in bed too. I'm just watching TV. So they go and take pictures and the pictures come out great. I think all of the pictures from what we've seen on the website and from like people and stuff this season, I think all of the pictures have looked gorgeous, right? Outdoor weddings make for very beautiful pictures because you're able to get the natural sunlight or the sunset, however you decide to do it. So they walk into the reception hall and Michael's best man right away runs over, grabs him and starts to make a speech about how Michael finally has someone that he can be himself around. And to me, that's concerning because are you walking around with your representative? What do you mean you can finally be yourself? So that was concerning to me. And you can tell that it caused Jasmina to raise an eyebrow too. So while they're taking, they're outside, they're taking more pictures. And they're kind of talking about trying to guess. He asked her, what do you think the honeymoon will be? And she was like, Mexico. He says, what about Jamaica? She said, I hope not, because that's where she's going to celebrate her 30th birthday at. And then she asked him, was he coming? And he was like, I hope so. I said, ooh, that's a bad omen. So while they're dancing, Michael said that Jasmina does not feel like a stranger to him anymore. He feels like physical chemistry between the two of them. Meanwhile, Jasmina said that there is a very, very small spark. And she makes this very, very, very concerning face. She's unsure about it. She doesn't know if she even believes that herself. So we will see how this goes. I do not think that Jasmina is attracted to Michael. I think Michael's height is going to play a big part in that because she did ask for a tall man. So they gave her somebody who is not. So let me know how you guys felt about this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and thumbs up the video. Catch y'all in the next one.